Hello there. Here's hoping that all is well with you. Thank you so much for making time on the program. I just came back from laying my grandmother to rest, and it's good to be back. Of course, it's In Focus, and my name as always is Eugene Anangwe. Tonight on the program, just as usual, it's one of another interactive conversation, and we're talking about matters health right here on the program. And all you need to do is to be part of the conversation. Simply tweet us using the hashtag InFocusRW. We want to have some minutes and talk about biotechnology and its place in saving lives, time and money. And of course, my panelists are here. They are ready to be part of this conversation. Throughout the day, we've been tweeting, and I've been receiving several tweets from different people. Of course, one of them from Murenzi, who said Minisante must invest more in biotechnology by giving capacity to provisional hospitals and provide salary to Rwandan experts. Of course, I'm sure on the part of salaries has to do with the issue of brain drain. We'll also spend some minutes in that as far as our conversation tonight is concerned. But before we go any further, let's look at our screen right here and talk about what we'll be looking at tonight on the program. One of them is this one, the issue of minimally invasive surgery. I don't know if you've been able to hear about this. It's an issue whereby you're operated on, but with minimal, invasion. They really cut really minor parts of your body, or actually incision. And this is one of the technologies that is becoming more and more common in hospitals. And these procedures are performed through tiny incisions instead of one large opening because the incisions are small, and of course patients tend to have quicker recovery times and less discomfort than with conventional surgery, all with the same benefits. Later on in the program, we'll definitely be able to hear a testimony from one of the beneficiaries of the minimally invasive surgery. Let's do a fact check on this particular type of medication or operation. These are the basic facts in comparison with, minimal invasive procedures versus traditional surgery. And one thing that we know is in cases of blood loss, in the minimal invasive procedures, the blood loss is really minimal, while in traditional operations, it is moderately high. Incision is about 2 centimeters. Our experts will definitely confirm that. And of course, whereas in traditional operations, they will go a bit 5 to 6 inches deeper in your body. And of course, recovery period is really short. Sometimes it could take just a few hours, and you'll be out of hospital even in a major surgery. While in traditional surgeries, the process of recovery is quite long. And of course, post-operative pain is minimal in minimum invasive surgery, while it's high. And the scars, most of us don't want to have, scars, being left with scars after operation. When it comes to minimal invasive surgeries, the scars are really minimal, whereas in the traditional way of operation, the scars are quite high. Let's take a look at the comparison of this particular kind of surgeries. If you look keenly on this side, this is one of the surgeries which is medically known as laparoscopic, surgery. And of course, you can see the invasion is really small, whereas if this operation was done, through the traditional ways of open surgery, this is the amount of, or the size of the wound that would be left behind. Similarly, this is open surgery incision. Look at that. This is what, scar that remains. Whereas in laparoscopy incision, these are the small, holes that are left in your body. So on the program tonight, we have very able guests. And let me start off with introducing our Honorable Minister of Health, Honorable Minister Diane Gashumba. Thank you so much for making time on the program.
Thank you for
being here.
Thank you.
Also with us is Professor Jacob with the University Libre de Bruxelles. Did I say it properly?
Yes.
Right, so my accolades in French actually doing well. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. You have quite a great story which we'll be sharing right on the program as far as the issues of minimal invasive surgery is concerned. And also with us in the program is none other than Dr. Theobald Hazejikimana, who's the DG CHK. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Right, so I want to start with Jacob because his story is very unique when it comes to these issues. All of you are just from hosting or having, a seminar or sort of an event around biotechnology. And with you, Jacob, your story dates, from 2010, rather this year, June 10th, when there was Rwanda Day in Belgium, and you personally took the mic during the forum with the president. I wish we had time to actually play that video, but you specifically told the president that you have this great idea, this great technology that you wanted to implement, but back home where you come from, it had not been taken seriously. And the president told you, go ahead, bring it to Rwanda. And here you are today. Take us through that particular moment, first of all, before we get deeper into the program.
Thank you for the introduction. It's clear that I attended Rwanda Day, which I should first acknowledge as a great idea. Honestly, without which I'm not sure that we would have been here, because it has speed up so many things that now I understand that people, when you have a country with a leadership like Rwanda, the impact on development is obvious. Honestly, because he was in Belgium talking to 4,000 people, asking questions live, and any type of question without reservation. And finally, I feel that I could also speak and tell him what I'm doing in Rwanda. Indeed, this minimally invasive surgery is a model we started in Cameroon. And we designed the project in such a way that if you work on one side, then we can implement in other sides. Yes. And the way we were implementing the project in Cameroon, I feel that I was not really supported, and it came directly in mind that I should simultaneously start in Cameroon and in Rwanda, since I have been working in Rwanda for the past 4 years, but in the field of biotechnology. And what was amazing is when His Excellency President Kagame raised an issue very, very critical. How come that we cultivate coffee is bought, taken away, manufactured and sent to us and sell to a price
expensively
that we cannot afford?
Yes.
How come that we cannot make that transformation back home? Talking this to the scientific diaspora, this was a big issue. And immediately, this was fitting exactly with the case of sanitary evacuation. Imagine that patient taken from, sent from African country to Europe, sometime in Europe, is African who are treating them. The question is, why can we not come back here and treat people on spot, help those who didn't have this opportunity to study abroad, to really master the new technology and give a better health to the population.
Back home here.
Back home.
Right.
So, according to me, it should be clear that we are indebted to Africa. Although we are having good life in Europe, good profession, we come from somewhere. And it's now or never that we should think of coming back and contribute.
Right.
Otherwise, it's too late.
It will be too late.
With this idea, when I realized that it was very comfortable, I had very good response in Rwanda to start this minimally invasive project, I could not hesitate. Therefore, with our partner here, we decided that we should go in.
Right.
And our plan was to start in January 18.
2018.
Because of the June 10, I was already here in July, a month after, because I made a promise to His Excellency that I'm coming. And that day he said, my Minister of Health is here. If you have your suitcase, you can come immediately. We discussed it at Kigali.
Right.
This was a big statement.
Right.
We were in our examination. Then after that, I traveled here, defined the situation, and then we say we are having a conference to evaluate projects we are running here. It's a conference we run once every 2 years. And I said with the minimally invasive surgery, I have to take a team with me so that we make the ground, the state, to see the situation. If we wait to January to come and see the situation, it will be too late.
It might be too late.
Yeah.
You might not be able to see
this is why, before our conference that took place 4 to 6 last week, we ran a 3 days,
3 days of
minimally invasive surgery in Seashuka, mostly, and in Kanombe. And I think that it was a success, according to me.
Right. Let me now talk to the DG of Sianshuka, because you mentioned something really critical concerning, the fact that most of us, struggle to leave our countries to go seek medication in European countries. And surprisingly, we get treated by our African doctors. The issue of the brain drain, the movement. I want to hear from you, Dr. Theobald. How is that affecting your institution, your general hospital right here in Rwanda? The issue of, experts, local experts or African experts leaving Sianshuka to go and work in Brussels. And when you have patients that you need to be treating back here at home, how is that of an impact to you?
Yeah, I think that issue is very, very critical, because I think with the patient we have, the cases we treat, and the lack of specialists in this country, and sometimes the specialists we have, some of them, they leave. But the number is not high, but when he leave, after trends, it is a loss for the country. And for us, this project come when the University of Rwanda is training more specialists in the country. With the support with the HRH program, is a collaboration with Ministry of Health, University of Rwanda, and US universities, which starts in 2011. Now, every year we are training more than 40 specialists.
40 specialists
per year.
Every year.
Every year. Now it is a good achievement, but this new technology, it is very, very important, because most of the cases we have are treated by open surgery. Minimally invasive surgery is not still in our hospital, due to lack of specialists who has been trained in this new technology. That's why this comes to help us and to adopt this new technology, because there is more benefits in terms of stay in
hospital, the amount of blood,
the time of surgery, but also we want to train doctors, specialists, to do a fellowship in this laparoscopic surgery, and also to train residents in training, and when they finished, they have a hands-on in minimally invasive surgery.
Right.
That project will help us to have specialists here in Rwanda with skills in this new technology.
So there's no need of going abroad,
yes,
to seek this.
Yeah, and what I saw with this team came from Belgium and France. They are well trained, and we discussed with them. This is the moment to think about one thing: the collaboration South-South.
Right.
You are African. You are in Europe for many reasons. You have to be there because your families, your children need to go to school.
But you need to remember back at home.
To think also, why I have skills, I have hands-on, but I have to think also to our brother, our sister, our father, our mother, who are in Africa, who need this kind of surgery.
Perfect.
That's why this collaboration should be very, very important for Rwanda and also for all countries.
Perfect.
In
I
Africa.
want to bring in the minister, because it was deliberate for me to bring you as the last speaker on this round of questions, because always it's important for policymakers to listen. And then you're able to say, you know what I had on that point, this is our position as government, as policymakers. Two things that have been spoken about. One of them is the importance of such kind of technology in saving lives. In the introduction, we saw the facts, we saw the importance, the significance. And probably the question that our viewers are asking themselves is this possible here in Rwanda? Can we have that? Do I not need to go to India to have, you know, a major operation and still have to have a very huge scar? Or can I be able to go for a major operation and just have the minimally invasive surgery? Talk to me about the stage at which Rwanda is in adapting such kind of technology.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would say that it's doable. I'm convinced it's doable, and from facts. Because as Professor Jacob has just said, last week he came in with a team of surgeons, a team of African specialists, and they operated in 2 of our hospitals. But the most important thing for me as a minister is this transfer of capacity, this transfer of skills to our young doctors. I've seen an enthusiastic team, young doctors who are really committed to learn from this group of Africans. And to me, it's a great step to see that our young doctors are committed to do things differently. They are committed and engaged and very, very enthusiastic to learn and to start something new. And today, they have started learning from specialists, because even before Jacob came here for this round, as he explained, he used to work with the University of Rwanda and the Ministry of Health and teaching hospitals. Yes. So it's something that has started in the past, but we are putting much emphasis today to have a bigger number of people coming here to Rwanda, bigger number of specialists coming, and the objective is the transfer of skills to the young doctors.
Right. You say the young doctors seem to be enthusiastic. They want to learn. They're eager to actually take up this challenge of being the ones treating their own people within their localities. But when they talk to you about their challenges, what do they tell you that they're lacking, that they need, and if they're given that, they're good to go?
Yeah, first of all, it's very challenging and difficult. It's heavy to train a medical doctor. It takes 10 years to train a specialist. It takes 6 years to train a general practitioner. It's not a common course. So it requires a dedication. To me, it's more about career than profession. It's not as usual as other professions. So whenever they complain, we always tell them, this is a career. And to me, there is no incentive you can give to a medical doctor. The biggest incentive, the most valuable incentive for a medical doctor who has chosen to become a doctor by career, by dedication, is when you treat a patient and see that the patient is recovering. When you serve your nation, it has to be something that comes from the heart. And when they complain, as Theobald was saying, and as we saw on Twitter from this morning, some people are saying medical doctors are not well paid.
Appreciated.
Yeah.
Back at home, that's why they go for greener pastures, they say.
It's not even particular to doctors. I've never seen someone saying, I'm happy with the salary I have. So to me, for a doctor, there is no salary you can give to a doctor and say he's satisfied, this is what he deserves. To me, a doctor, the value of a doctor and the satisfaction of a doctor is the accomplishment of what he does for a patient.
Yeah, but then they would argue and say, I cannot accomplish that if I'm not equipped properly with the necessary skills, with the necessary tools.
Yes.
Then you're expecting too much from me and say that, you know what, if the patient is healing, that's when I should be satisfied. Some researchers, these young ones, are saying we don't have enough finances for research, for us to be able to discover this new biotechnology that we can actually put together. What can the ministry do?
I want to talk a bit of the background of this country.
Yes.
The genocide has destroyed this country, and the health sector was also affected. Infrastructure were destroyed, the equipment were destroyed, lives were destroyed. They killed medical doctors, and as I said, it takes 10 years to train new doctors. And right after the genocide, the government of Rwanda has really invested in the health sector. When you look at the percentage of budget, the component of the budget that goes to the health sector, compared to other countries, we remember about the Abuja Declaration that was saying 13% of the budget of a country has to go to the health sector. I would say that the government of Rwanda has really invested in health sector, because when you look at the number of hospitals we have today, number of ambulances, health sectors across the country, even health posts, community health workers, it's a huge investment. So I would say that medical doctors, they have got what they need to work and to really be effective.
So if they fail, it's up to them.
Even research.
Yes. They have everything.
They have everything to conduct research. And the President of the Republic himself is really committed to promote research, to promote technology. So it's up to us. It's up to us as a Minister of Health, as hospitals, as young doctors, to take over these advantages and work
towards achieving that. Yeah. Professor Jacob, the Minister says, you know what, the satisfaction of a doctor, I mean, there's no enough incentive for a doctor other than seeing a patient recovering after your effort. But you started the program by saying that back home, where you come from, that support was not there to the level that you'd have wanted to fully implement this project, to the point that you said, you know what, I'm ready to come to Rwanda. And after getting that political support, the motivation of the government, the president himself telling you, if you have your suitcase ready, come on, let's do it, let's go. Do you think that there's more than just the healing of a patient? What more do experts need? What more do doctors want for them to actually start coming up with these biotechnological ideas, implementing them to the letter?
That's a critical question. I should emphasize on one thing. What we are initiating now is not new. We are not creating a wheel. The paradigm is changing. What we are changing strategy in this fact that this training started in Rwanda. Professor Jean-Jacques Ruben started the training at CHUK. This was in 97. And trained doctors. But the point is to make a project sustainable. Yes. And if we plan our long-term sustainability on humanitarian missions, people come and go, then it clearly means that we are programming failure, which is really bad. We cannot program failure. This is the reason why, with the University of Rwanda, we decided to define a structural program that will train people continuously. Even if some go, the system is prepared to continue to train, and the country will never be short
of experts.
And we need to put a lot of effort, because the project, we have some grant, some money, 500,000 euro. In terms of, if Rwanda, France is a lot, but in terms of health, as Honorable Minister said, it's really peanut.
Yes.
So what I expect again from the government of Rwanda is that they should support us so that we should build our strategy based on efforts. And what I call efforts is that we are planning to train it by phase. The first step is to train Rwanda trainer.
Yes.
So that when we have a pool of Rwanda trainer in Siashuka, in Kanombe, Siashube, and Fesal, then we from Belgium, from abroad, the diaspora, the expert that support this training, When we come here, we accompany the trainer who are mastering the techniques. And if we have this well structured and established, therefore we can take many people for training, starting from those who are already working in clinics, in hospital. And when we finish with this pool, then we can introduce this expertise in the curriculum of the medical doctor, so that residents should finish their training with this technique already there. We don't, at that time, the fellowship will be available, but even for the surrounding country, for people coming from abroad.
Yes.
So this is the strategy.
That's the strategy.
And this is, again, Minister of Health. I expect that very soon, and you know that we are prepared to receive Rwandans abroad and train them to prepare the mass training here with the fellowship in minimally invasive surgery. That is the core business here.
Right.
But the beginning is to have this pool of trainer from here who receive the expertise. Then when we come here, you know, we support them, assist them, and together we train others. And even when we go back behind, they continue to do it. If there are difficult cases, then they can keep and then program for. And by this way, I think clearly, Minister of Health, you see how you gain in budget in terms of sanitary evacuation. I trust. We have to try and see if we are right or not. Yes.
Yes. Perfect. I like the spirit.
I want to add something small to what he just said. Yeah, it's important to train the first pool of trainers, and that's what we are doing together. But the most important thing, as he said, is to make sure that we integrate this training into the curriculum
of the
schools.
Yeah.
And that's what we are doing now with the University of Rwanda.
Yeah. Why has it taken us too long to do it?
It's done now.
It's done now.
It's being done.
It's being done now. You don't feel like it's long overdue?
No.
It's not long overdue?
No.
Okay.
It is very, very important.
Dr. Tebelda, I had a specific question, and of course I know you'll add what you just want to say right now.
Yes.
The minister says the government has provided everything. The environment is very conducive for proper performance of our doctors to perform. He says the strategies are there. The funding is there.
Yes.
So what is still missing that we're seeing people taking their flights to international countries for medication instead of staying home and getting proper treatment? Because we hear the environment is conducive for people to get treated here.
I think what the Professor Jacob is saying, it is a start point now. Because if for the past time, people maybe there is a lack of in training, the quality of training, and now this is a new technology, but for the training which is classic is done well. There is no problem. But for the new technology, that is a very, very important to motivate again our young doctors. Because if a young doctor is graduated now in general surgery, but he cannot perform minimally invasive surgery, it is a miss. It is
There's something missing there.
Yeah, it is something. It is very, very frustrating for him to not perform minimally invasive surgery.
So briefly, what do we do?
What we want to do now, it is now a moment, is a good opportunity to train our young doctors, resident, specialist doctors, to be trained and to become trainers, as Professor Jacob said. Then they train the young doctors, the resident, and when they are finished the specialization, they are able to perform laparoscopic surgery, which and to comply with international standards. That is a good motivation for our doctors who are in surgery.
Right.
And other specialists, specialization. If we are in obs and gyn, you are a gynecologist, but you can't perform laparoscopic surgery when you are graduated. It is very, very frustrating.
It's frustrating.
But now, from now, we are starting this program with the support with the Ministry of Health, with the support with the University of Rwanda through ARES. And this should help us to gain more skills, hands-on, and we should perform and comply with international standards.
Perfect.
That
and
is
one
very,
thing
very
I can
important.
add to
Yes.
this is that we should make sure in the strategy that people who are trained do not find appropriate environment in their hospital. This means plateau techniques should be prepared with the long term. If we think that we'll have within the next 2 years or 3-5 years, doctors who are ready to perform, even if they are sent into regional hospital here, I don't know if that's how we call them.
Yes.
Therefore, the government should follow us in the project and prepare already hospital with plateau techniques, so that people who are trained find the environment
For
appropriate
practicals.
to practice. This is
Right.
how the population will gain from this, what we are talking here now.
Important. I want you to hold that thought, because we're going to take a very short break right now. But after the break, we'll have a testimony, because what we're talking about right here as far as minimally invasive surgery has actually taken place right in Rwanda. It's definitely taking place right in Rwanda. So we'll be hearing from one of the beneficiaries, Claudine Tuisenje. She'll be talking to us right after the break. But before that, we're still receiving your comments via the hashtag INFOCUSRW. From the conversations that you've had, the statements you've had right here on the program, share your thoughts. And of course, simply add the hashtag INFOCUSRW. I have one from Rwanda is my number one, who's at Karangwa, who says, Honorable Minister Diane, we really appreciate the job you're doing for the people of Rwanda. Kudos, thank you so much. This is a good one. Thumbs up to you. Another one from Lemin says that, hello there, it's very nice you brought the Honorable Minister, but I think Minisante is going to develop under her leadership. Nice one as well. Rudakemo says, tertiary care in Rwanda is getting better, but we need better trained doctors, equipment, and motivated workforce. This is a very important one coming out there. Abdulaziz Murenzi says, this will be a long-term solution to save lives. This is minimally invasive surgery and cash, with also those experts between Rwandans and international remains at home. I think I got your point that there. Minisante must invest more in biotechnology by giving capacity to provincial hospitals and provide more salaries to Rwandan experts. Are you ready to do this as a ministry? Is that the solution? More salaries?
No, I don't think so.
Yes.
But if they are productive,
Yes.
if they save lives, if they improve the quality of care they provide, salaries will follow.
It's automatic.
Hospitals will recover money, they will generate money, and why not?
Then they might get the salaries. Doctors, you got that. Of course, so we're going to take this break. Don't go too far, because we're coming back in just a bit. Keep tweeting hashtag INFOCUSRW if you want us to read your tweets right here on the program. Stay with us.
Now that is the smell of a new day, new business ideas, new opportunities, and above all, a new chance to start over. Forget about the news. We want to talk about the stocks that are trading, what companies have been listed, and the exchange rate, and also the money matters, not just regionally, but also globally. Take a look. They are the right arm of every business world. The small-scale businesses, They contribute a lot to our economies, and yet they face new challenges every single day. Now, I come in to stop all that. Listen to them, find a common ground, and come up with a solution. And I also give you an insight into the opportunities in their business world.
Join us every Tuesday on Business Digest.
Magic FM.
Isaha rero y'isa 10:18 of course ni Magic Drive turi kumwe mpaka isa mwa z'umugoroba. Kumishikoto tega amatwi kuri 90.7 Magic FM mace kumwe na Gerard ndetse na Michelle Iradukunda.
Mwaramutseho nanone iki ni ikiganiro Magic Morning mwumva kuva kwambe kugera kuri gatano tugikora kuva saa 2 za mitondo kugera saa 3 za mitondo ni mukuru w'urushi.
Magic FM.
Right, thank you so much for still being with us. In Focus, it is. My name, as always, is Eugene Nangwe. If you want to be part of the program, simply hashtag INFOCUS. We'll definitely be able to sample your tweets right here. We're talking about biotechnology, the place of biotechnology in saving lives right here in Rwanda. And of course, we are talking about the minimally invasive surgery. And Rudake Moniki says that minimally invasive surgery is being practiced in Rwanda. King Faisal Hospital, Siashika. We need to create a critical mass of people able to do minimally invasive surgery. And joining us right here on the program right now, she was listening from the silence. Claudine Tuisenje is one of the beneficiaries. Claudine Nushaka Avanga Rudimi Nachiwazo, but tell us in the language you're comfortable in. Give us your experience. You went through this procedure of minimally invasive surgery. Simply tell us, how was it like? How long did it take for you to get the operation? Between time of being operated and leaving the hospital, how long did it take? Just talk to us.
They start around 7 p.m. So I went inside. So they finished in 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. They told me after 2 hours, when anesthesia finish, I can go back home. So I wait 2 hours, anesthesia finish, then I go back home.
So total time you took was less than 5 hours?
Yeah.
Less than 5 hours. Yeah. What was the problem? What was the complication? Like, why? Because someone might think that maybe it was just a nail that had jumbled her and it was just about removing it. What was the complication?
I can explain in Kinyarwanda.
Nachiwazo.
Imitsi yanjye yari miremire cyane kuva hano hasi kuza kugera aha sinashobora kuba nakambara ikanzu bisanzwe wari waranyizingiye ku buryo wagira ngo ni nk'inzoka yari ndiho aha n'uru ruhande rero bari bararubazi Kanombe nabanje CHK muri 2006 byaje muri 2004 noneho 2006 njya CHK baramvura mbona ntacyo bitanze muri 2012 njya Kanombe naho kuno kuguru barakubaga Dr. Murego arambwira ngo nimara gukira ukuguru kwa mbere nzazane no kwa kabiri mbonye ntacyo bitanze nanga kwirwa subiza y'ukunda abana muri nukontera cicatrice z'ubusa reka mbyihorere nyuma rero nibwo naje guhura na Professor Jacob mwere ko bimeze aranyizeza arambwira ati rwose nta kibazo umunsi aba specialiste baje bizakira twahuye kuwa kabiri baransuzuma badusuzuma neza ubu bireba imbere yawe uburwayi bwawe bwose ubu bureba baradusuzuma twari benshi njye bangezeho saa moya nibwo batangiye kunkora baransuzumye batubwira ko bari butubage abo babagaga barabaze abandi babaha imiti bambwira ko saa moya bari bunkorere saa moya zigeze ndagenda bantera ikinya iminota 30 bari bamaze kumvura ndagenda ndategereza ikinya gishize ndataha
30 minutes, and then after 2 hours for the anesthesia to get over, then you go home.
Yeah, I go
and this is something that would have taken how long if it was to be the traditional open surgery?
Yeah.
How long would it have taken, Professor?
We can back the question to her because she was operated already at Seashuka.
She went through that before. How long did it take?
Maybe I should help.
Normal operation.
The operation,
Yes.
it was
Before.
2 hours.
Before.
Before.
At Kanombe.
kugira stripping
In Kanombe cyangwa hariya.
Kanombe cyangwa iwacu.
Kanombe, they operated me like in 2 hours. Then I go to the
bed.
hospitalization inside. I finished there 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And that
After
means
2 weeks, I
accumulation,
go
yes.
back. I go back to home. They told me that I will go to work after 1 month.
Whoa.
Yeah, but there, they told me 2 days I can go to.
And you went back to work immediately.
Yes.
This is amazing. And I want to hear from you, Dr. Diane. I mean, when we hear this kind of testimonies, that this thing is actually possible, but we still see it's common. And this is, I want to put a disclaimer, this is not personal to any government official, but it's common in many areas that we see a lot of government officials going to get even treated outside. And before we went for the break, Dr. Theobald was talking about motivation. If a doctor, a Rwandan doctor, treats a government official, they feel a sense of confidence in them.
Yes.
That they believe in us. That but what we see is guys going out, your colleagues go out for treatment that they could get right here. How do we build the confidence of these doctors if we have this kind of behavior going on?
Actually, the cases we refer outside the country are really complicated cases. We must confess that, as Dr. Stobar stated, we still have a shortage of doctors for some specialties. I can give an example, for example, for cardiovascular diseases, even cancer and kidney diseases. Those are the cases we refer abroad. And every year, the estimate of cases we refer abroad are almost 40 cases.
40 cases?
Per year. But what you are working on as a government is this capacity building, increase of qualified doctors, investment in equipment. Today we have the radiotherapy center that is being built at Rwanda Military Hospital, and we expect that from next year we are not going anymore to refer people for cancer treatment abroad. So we are really investing inside the country in those specialties and rare skills and equipment to make sure that we reduce those cases we refer abroad because it's expensive for the country. We have today initiated dialysis centers. We have a dialysis center in Rubavu, in Gihundwe Hospital, and within Kigali city. So this is an effort we are doing as a government to reduce the number of cases we refer abroad. We don't just refer for the sake of referring, or not because people...
It's not about confidence,
yeah,
lack of confidence in the local
it's
doctors. This might be encouraging for them if they're watching right now. Professor, this will need skilled doctors to be able to support people like Claudine. And you can imagine the amount of work that they're able to continue doing in building their nation because they got treated with the minimal time and recovered immediately and they went back to work. If you compare to the amount of time they spend if they were to go to traditional medical ways of operation. So how then do we ensure that we retain, once we train the ones we're training locally, that we retain them here and they don't go to Brussels, they don't go to Europe, they don't go elsewhere to offer their services where they feel more appreciated financially or in whichever way? How do we retain them? What advice would you be giving our governments and even the doctors that you're training now?
Anyway, I don't think that immigration is something encouraging. Ask me why I'm in Europe. I studied in Cameroon, got my PhD in Cameroon, and I am now working in Europe just because the environment was not appropriate for research. So if in our particular case, I know Rwanda, they are very patriotic because when they arrive in Europe, they start counting that these things should finish and we go back. Therefore, if they could have the skills here, I don't think the money or salary issue is really the major thing that can make someone to abandon his country and go elsewhere. Because one would never be as fine elsewhere more than your own country. This is a fact. And you can't pay any sum to have that advantage. So I'm not afraid. The key thing is that we should try our best to train to the highest level possible the young, motivated physicians who are here, and they will be happy because save a life is something that you cannot imagine. For the Cameroon project, for example, I remember a particular case, a lady who was having a colon cancer and who was about to sell the house to go for treatment in Paris. Fortunately for her, we arrived. And initially, she didn't trust us, but finally, when the relative from abroad said, if it's a team from abroad coming to start that, like, why not? Why not? And what the lady spent, we operated her, was less than the cost of an air ticket. Her house was safe because I asked her, you want to sell your house and go to Europe for treatment. When you come back, what do you do?
Yes.
She says she will leave Douala and go to the village. This is not good quality life because she will receive treatment. She will be frustrated because she will change her life environment and so on.
And she'll get sick again.
Who knows? Yeah. Probably yes. Yeah. So I think that we should consider that our young doctors are in the need to be the best in their field. And in terms of money, when you are already the best, it's not only on your salary that you can have. For example, if you are doing research like we are doing, you apply for grants. You have grants to run all what you want as project, then you have full satisfaction. So I think that what they want, if I'm not wrong, they are hearing me, they can tweet to say you are wrong. I think what they are missing so far is this new technology. If they hear that there is conference in US, in Europe, they go there, they catch the ongoing technology. And I think that with that, I'm convinced that Rwandan will not leave the country. I'm not sure that they will. That's why I think, anyway, let's assume that they will leave. Then we structure the training so that as they leave, as we train. And finally, we'll have a pool to work here.
So the gap is never left. There's no gap.
I want to add something. Yeah, I think the most important is three things, I think. One is to have doctors who are well trained. Training is very important. Well trained, skills, hands-on, etc. Two, to be well equipped, because the equipment is very, very important. When a doctor have skills and when there is a lack of some equipment, it is frustrating also. And three is to work in a good environment which help him to be comfortable. That's very, very also important. And I think now we are trying to see and to take some strategies to increase income. And if our income is increased, we should have more equipment. And also, people will be well paid. Right. Salary will come, or we should add something on the basic salary, because when you are working, you make money. And I think the money for the institution is to run the hospital, to buy equipment, consumables, but also I think doctors or staff need to be paid on what they generate.
Right.
Yes.
It's good to raise those three critical issues. Of course, very standard anywhere in the world. It's what is required. That's the global picture. But if someone was to listen to you and say, what about the Rwandan case? Or narrows it down and say the Siashka case, how is the situation like in those three areas? He spoke to the minister directly and told the minister their wish in terms of supporting this initiative. What is it that you as an hospital would like the government to do to be able to see you do your full potential in saving lives through those three issues that you spoke about?
I think for training, I think the training is in progress. We are improving. Since 2005, when the University of Rwanda started the specialization locally in Rwanda, I think that was a good point to...
So training is good.
Training is in progress. We have to improve these these new technologies who are coming. It is to add, it is an added value, the knowledge to train people and to have skills and hands-on.
Equipment?
Equipment progressively. Where we was in, we were in 2005.
It's not where you are today.
And now we are somewhere.
Yes.
I think every year we plan to buy a new equipment, some equipment. There is also, we had also a support from HRH program through CDC to get some equipment. But now we need more.
Right.
And we have, and every year we need to buy something new.
Right.
And for example, this project in minimally invasive surgery, I think we will get the new equipment to do this kind of surgery.
Right.
And,
salaries?
I think, and about salary, we are planning to increase our income generation. We have now a strategy. We have put in place a strategy to increase income generation. And I think from next year, maybe also from next month, in 2 months, I think there will be
some changes.
Some changes.
Perfect.
Yes.
I'm told we are running out of time, just remaining with about 2 minutes, and I want us to share these 2 minutes in looking forward, the way forward. Yes, we've had this training, 3 days. We plan for others to come. But what do we plan? What do we do next? I'm sure we started with you as the last person, but I want to begin with you as a sort of your closing remarks. In line with what next? What's the future looking like for future biotechnologists, for the whole process as far as improving healthcare is concerned? Just talk to us very briefly.
Yeah, as simple as that, we're all convinced that biotechnology is saving life, is saving time, and is also developing a nation, because if a patient is recovering within 24 hours and go back to work, it's development. Economically, it has an impact.
Right.
And also, it alleviates the burden to the family. It reduces the number of visits at the hospital. So it's clear that biotechnology is a tool for development. Right. So we embrace this biotechnology, and as a government, we are supportive, and we put whatever it needs to get there, to get this change and transformation from the routine to the technology.
Perfect. Professor Jacob, because you're from far.
Yeah, I think I should take the opportunity to come back to the strategy. Our strategy, we think is could be productive, is public-private partnership. And I should acknowledge 2 companies, because we achieved 2 workshops here in Rwanda during the past 2 weeks, one in biotechnology in real terms to train technician of hospital, laboratory, how we could produce drugs such as insulin here instead of ordering from abroad.
So this is the way forward, yes.
This basic biotechnology, and this was supported by American pharmaceutical company Promega, which I acknowledge. And the minimally invasive surgery is Medtronic Covidian that is supporting, even starting from the Cameroon project.
Right.
So I should acknowledge and keep hope that we'll push this project to the
future is bright.
Bright.
Perfect. Lastly, Vince is asking, because you had already spoken, because of time, I think, just very briefly, how much did you spend? Someone is asking here, we also need to know the cost of the surgery. As much as it looks good, very effective, but how much did you spend? Roughly,
Me, I have insurance.
Yes.
So I brought the medicine outside.
Yes.
I pay 2,000 to the medicine, and their consultation I pay 800, and after that I pay 700.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's
So
less
that's
than
1,500.
1,500.
Yeah.
Perfect. There it is. Of course, I want to end it there. I'm the only one who's rising up, but just keep it there. We're going to say thank you so much for making time for this conversation.
pleasure.
I know we need more time for it, but it's been effective. We'll keep talking and keep doing the good job. And of course, to our viewers, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Too many tweets, as always. But of course, the conversation has to keep going on. Keep tweeting using the hashtag INFOCUSRW. We'll see you again next time. Let me pave the way for the news in English coming in just a bit. My name, as always, is Eugene Anagwe. Goodbye for now.
Rondair, renowned for its tremendous ability to fulfill your dreams, invites you to connect more with your friends and family in Europe with 3 weekly flights to Brussels, one of the most popular cities for the African diaspora. Take advantage of the exquisite service on board our punctual flights, connecting you to over 22 other destinations in our fast-growing network.
Rondair, fly the dream of Africa.
Hello there, a very good evening. My name is Maggie Motesi, and tonight the General Assembly of the FPI in Kotanyi Party of the Eastern Province this Sunday elected their new chairperson, Mufuluke Fred. Now, elderly persons in Nyamasheke district today celebrated the International Older Persons Day. Elsewhere, after a 20-year trade embargo, the United States has lifted sanctions against the government of Sudan. Welcome back. Now, the General Assembly of the FPI in Kotanyi Party of the Eastern Province this Sunday elected their new chairperson, Mufuluke Fred, by 96.2%. The newly elected chairperson said that through the collaboration of its members, they will work for the benefit of the citizens. The General Assembly was converged in Kayonza district. Here's the story.
RPF members from various districts in the Eastern Province this Sunday met for the General Assembly, where they hailed the various achievements they attained. Speaking at the event, the former governor of the Eastern Province, Kazaire Judith, mentioned that the members also did their best during the concluded presidential elections, where they voted for President Paul Kagame with an outstanding 99.30%. In the 2017-2018 calendar, the members voted in a new chairperson, Mufuluke Fred, who is the governor for the Eastern Province. Here, he said that he will closely work with members to achieve better results. We have to work hard. What we also need to have is discipline, as this is what our party is known for. We should have discipline in how we work, how we deliver. We should also have values as the party members. No party member should be caught in corruption. No party member should behave irresponsibly towards their neighbors. They should not devalue the faith that we have been given by our party. We also want to boost cleanliness. We have already started on this, but we still have more to do. A representative from the RPF party headquarters, Mukobwa Justin, said what should characterize the members. We urge that all officials from sector levels to the cell and village levels work together, and what we can attain as ourselves, the country is doing the best to help us. But most of what is in the performance contracts does not ask for much, like ensuring all children go to school, that we improve the cleanliness, that we fight malnutrition. All this is through sensitization, and we can achieve it. The party members vowed to be examples towards building the nation and developing it.
Now, the Ministry of Local Government says that it will not tolerate children who keep on harassing their parents instead of helping them age peacefully. The elderly people living in Nyamasheke say that they fight with their own children because of property. This was during the national celebrations of International Older Persons Day in Nyamasheke district. Take a look at the story. Ngumye Augustine, a 70-year-old residing in Kanjongo sector in Nyamasheke district, is part of the elderly in the village, where he says that out of 10 children, he only lives with 3 because the rest of the children live outside the country. 2 of these children he lives with are not in good terms with him as they took away his land and house, reported the case to the authorities, who are actually taking it forward. The problem I have with my children is because they took my land. I don't even live there. I thought to myself that they would sell it, so I reported the case to the authorities. Like now, even when I fall sick, they don't pay for the fees or my mutuelle de santé. They took my house and everything. They don't help me with anything. Even though Ngumbuye has talked about this, oftentimes around the country, disagreements between parents and their children in regards to property are very common. Together with other elderly people, they celebrated the International Older Persons Day in Nyamasheke district. The State Minister in the Ministry of Local Government in charge of social welfare, Dr. Vera Mukabaramba, warned children who have these disagreements with their parents as they don't give them a chance to age peacefully.
Nkangurire n'abantu b'abana usanga bari mu manza n'ababyeyi babo.
Let me start off with the people with children who have disagreements with their parents, yet honestly they are supposed to help them age very peacefully. You're supposed to help your parents, and it's a role. The State Minister further reminded the elderly to save, which relates with the theme of this year, stepping into the future, tapping the talents, contributions and participation of older persons in society. On December 14, 1990, the United Nations General Assembly voted to establish October 1st as the International Day of Older Persons. Rwanda started celebrating this day in 2001. Older persons in Rwanda start at the age of 65. According to the Ministry of Local Government, there are about 353,094 older persons in Rwanda out of the 12 million people in the country. Now, cross-section of the elderly are calling for better reimbursement of their pension money and those who receive funds to be given in time. Gasabo district officials, however, urge them to look into saving their money as a way of protecting their finances for the future. Take a look at the story.
75-year-old Munyan Nurire Amiel from Kamut Kosel in Gachiru sector of Gasabo district was allocated his pension at once, but says it is important to streamline how they give out the pension and other funds supported by the government.
There are
those who are elderly and have not received their pension, and they don't feed well. The government should look into how they can intervene. The other thing is those who are above 60 years and get direct financial help. I'm 75 years old and I do not get that support, and I need it. The funds and the pension at times take forever to reach us. They should help us. During the celebrations to mark the International Day for Older Persons, representatives from Gasabo District, Rugwizangoga Cyril, urged the district officials to help them come up with some saving plan scheme for them. Please hold sensitization programs for the elderly to save. We already know it, but we need more help. We started the One Coin program, which is already helping us a lot. Vice Mayor in charge of social affairs, Nyirabahire Langwida, assured the elderly that everything is being worked on for their ease.